Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1.
Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by now. Here's JP.
Here we go on a beautiful Tuesday morning here. It is football season, baby. And welcome into the JP Peterson Show, your finest 2 hours of all Tampa Bay sports talk. Tim Ham joining me here from our DSP affiliate in Dallas, as he does each and every Tuesday with his doggy. Good to see him making an appearance. Just jumped off the bed. Yeah. Tally is
breakfast.
Yeah. I want to see your dog do that home run trot, right? You know, like Tally does a little trot around the after she gets a good meal, she'll do a little trot or makes a nice catch with the tennis ball. Yeah. She'll do a little prance, around, put the head up and kind of like, yeah, look at me. I'm like, yeah, you look just like Jose Siri and Juan Soto.
It's not a good thing either.
And I don't know. The dogs are kind of cute when they do it.
It's cute when the dog does it, not when the
grown-ass men. I don't know. We'll discuss it today. We'll get into some football with Scott Reynolds, who will join us at 10:30. Speaking of celebrations, Taylor Walls making a national statement that over, I think the tweet I saw of him doing his the Trump celebration, 5.6 million views and lots of comments as well. So we'll get into that. All kinds of fun stuff. USF football was picked to be fourth in their upcoming season in the AAC, which I think pretty much makes him a contender. So lots to get to. The Tristan Wirfs contract, all that good stuff. Good morning to you, Tim. How are you?
Good morning. Doing well here.
And and just John Hill's already like, Wirfs contract. Yeah, I want some of that. Yes. And we do all this in the background. Well, sports is such a great distraction, is it not? I was watching a show last night, the new I think it's on Peacock, called For Those About to Die. And it's about ancient Rome.
Uh-huh.
And
looks really good. I haven't seen it, but it looks really good.
Yeah. Anthony Hopkins plays the ruler. It's a little cheesy, but you get into it. But it was the opening episode is about this coup that's going on in Rome, and the mob is getting pissed off because there's no food in the streets, so they're attacking the palace, right? And what do? They're like, oh, there's a race today. Everybody go watch the chariot races. And sports is a great distraction for what's going on, in the world of politics. So what is old is new again, right? Here we are as we watch we finally come to the realization, like, you know what? This whole democracy thing has been a complete sham for quite some time.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, you are correct. It has been. I'm not getting political right or left, folks. You just have to look at what's happened in the last 11 days and go, are you effing kidding me? Like, this is a democracy? No, it's not. It is not even the Secret Service director goes up on the Hill yesterday and has no answers.
Fiasco that was.
Can't even say how many shell casings. All the recordings of the Secret Service intercom. We didn't record it that day. Isn't that a shocking development? We have no text messages. The local police who are normally in on those channels were not in on those channels today. The most obvious place for a shooter was not covered. And everybody wants to say this is just incompetence. No, it's not, folks. You have to be a complete moron to believe that.
And you know how she got her job, right?
She used to guard Cheetos.
She was on Biden's vice presidential detail. And then when he became president, I'm sure there were other favors involved here.
Yes.
Because she's in no means qualified.
Very close to the Biden family. Yeah, she's a long time. And the Secret Service people become part of their family, when they protect them 24/7.
Sure.
And so obviously she's, completely compromised in that way. And again, this is not political right or left. It's just, this is a destruction of what's going on. And then if suddenly Joe Biden is not competent. No, maybe you just wanted to wait till this point, throw him out there for the earliest debate ever, throw him to the wolves and say, oh, we didn't realize that he can't do this anymore. Really? You've been lying to us for that long? Like
Man.
everybody's seen it, for God's sakes. And now we can handpick whoever we want to be the next puppet. It's really fascinating. It's really fascinating. And listen, as Portnoy said yesterday and today, and I'm with him on this, I'm not an automatic Trump vote. If you brought somebody forward that I knew was going to, try to put democracy back in and get rid of the deep state, I would be like, yeah, let's go. Let's go. I mean, Trump is by far not a perfect candidate. RFK Jr., you want to run him as a Democrat? I'm seriously thinking about voting for him.
Yeah, he would never run as a Democrat, though.
No, though, because he's just like Trump in terms of getting rid. And so he's not part of the uniparty.
Yeah,
and it's just fascinating to see in plain sight that this is and again, whatever your politics are, you have to objectively look at this and go, oh my God, what the hell is happening? But hey, the Yankees beat the Rays yesterday. It's football season. Let's talk about that.
Talk about something that has some significance.
Just keep the masses distracted, but this by the circus, and we'll just do what we need to do over here. So we recognize that, and we say, whatever. It is what it is. There's nothing I can do about it, or you can do about it, except I guess go vote in the election.
Please go vote for something, just for the love of God.
Yeah, because that's gonna count.
Pretend like it matters and
Pretend
go vote.
like it matters. Yes. So anyway, it is what it is. It's just, but it was a bizarre time that we're living. Oh, and by the way, there's planes falling out of the sky, coming within 150 feet of Tampa Bay. There's 3 Southwest planes, or 3 planes in the last 3 months.
That happened here in Dallas.
Yeah,
about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
700 within 700 feet over rooftops.
Yeah,
at 3 a.m. Just zero explanation.
Yeah,
zero cockpit recorder.
Mm-hmm.
Just boom. 700 feet, like people's car alarms were going off, and the green camera footage in the neighborhoods were, added on the cameras. Dude, it was nuts.
Well, this one evidently it plunged 1,000 feet, 1,500 feet, and came within 150 feet of Tampa Bay.
God.
And some of the experts are postulating that this particular pilot, it was during a storm, saw the lights of the Courtney Campbell Bridge, how they line up, kind of like a runway.
Thought it was
thought that was the runway, even though there's not an approach. No
beacons,
from that side. I mean, like if you're coming from that side of the airport, like there's no established flight path from that way. There's no there's no runway that lines up. So what the F are you doing? And
he might need to refresh his instrument flight rules.
Yeah,
it's
altimeter. Don't they have like altimeter alarms?
Yes, they've got all sorts of things. And airports have beacons.
Yeah, what y'all doing in the cockpit? That you're not recognizing any of this stuff going on.
Airports have beacons, so you can actually hear the airport if you can't see it. And he wasn't anywhere close.
It's
what's happening, man?
What is going on in this world? I mean, there's wars all over the place. It's absolutely insane. But here we are. So let's get going. Hold on. I'm trying to find where my phone is. I lost my phone.
Oh no.
No,
pause the show.
No, I have to do this because I have to change the privacy on Facebook because it changes the show every day. A little producing on the show. Yeah,
mine does that too. I have to go in as soon as we start the show, and I got to go in and
it
fix
just decides. You know what? This particular post we're going to make private. Everything else is public, but this one we're going to make private. So
it always goes to
the show doesn't start on time sometimes on my Facebook.
Yeah, it defaults to where only I can see it, and I'm like, well, how does that do any good? I already know it's there.
Yeah, so some people have to join us late, but that's why, because Facebook just decides to do that, and Twitter just decides to throw me off, and that's just the way things go. And you have to sit here and say, that's the world we live in each and every day, and try not to get frustrated and blow your brains out.
It's easiest just to find us on YouTube. Just go to YouTube.
Yeah, just go to YouTube. Yeah, lock it in, do your favorites, like it, subscribe, do all that stuff. Easy to find us.
By the way, your X thing didn't work.
Didn't work?
No.
So I applied for the premium again, so that's the only way you can get on. Yeah. And so I'll have to retweet your X.
Yeah, my X is on.
We're just doing this on as we do this on the show. Take you a little behind the scenes on how all this stuff kind of works or doesn't work, as the case may be.
Producing on the air.
Yeah, it is a completely new world as far as how things are, TV and radio are ancient at this point,
Yeah.
right? It's all about streaming. And, it's weird because a lot of people just, especially the boomers, don't really understand. Boomers like us, right? And we
Right.
don't, and we're trying to figure it out every day because it changes every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the way the world is right now. So, you want to start with the Rays?
Let's start with the Rays. Let's start with the most unnecessary thing in baseball.
Yes.
Because it's not necessary. It doesn't belong in baseball.
Yeah.
Or any sport.
Well, first of all, the Rays get pummeled yesterday 9-1 because they were a game over 500, and it's the law this year that they have to return to 500 as soon as possible. That's the way it works. The 23rd time they have been 500 this year.
Wow.
Absolute definition of mediocrity.
That's consistency.
Yeah. It's been a crazy season because, and this is what I said on this show yesterday, as the Rays won 2 in a row and hit 9 home runs in 2 days, and everybody's getting excited. Like, this is the moment we're going to turn it all around. And like, have you people not learned from history? Like, this is not what's happening this year. This team is not going to reel off 7, 8, 9 in a row, or it's very doubtful, because their offense is so horribly inconsistent, and they rely on the home run. They can't. They don't have a whole lot of power, which is why their offense is next to the worst in the league. And when you have an offense that is that bad, you cannot go on any types of sustained runs, no matter how good your pitching is. And some of their pitching has been good, and yesterday Zach Littell was not very good. And the Yankees pounded it. Soto with a couple of home runs, and it was ugly. It was ugly. But that was not the story of the game. No. Story of the game, the story of the series is the home run trots. Interesting, this morning on ESPN, they had a graphic that in this series alone were, I think, 6 of the eight longest home run trots they're now, that they now time home run trots.
Yeah.
Yeah, they time home run trots. And I guess Siri is second in the league. No shock there.
The slowest or the fastest?
Slowest, yeah.
Slowest. Yeah.
If he wanted to be the fastest, he could be.
He could, yeah.
That's the wonderful part of it. If he wanted to be, if a ball got by an outfielder, he could circle the bases in probably 13 seconds. But if he goes over the wall, it's going to take at least 30 seconds. So that's the difference.
I wonder what his trot, like what the time difference is for a blast out of the park and an inside the park home run.
That's what it would be.
I would love to see that.
He can circle the bases in about 13 seconds. That's how fast he is. One of the fastest players in the league. So yeah, but when he pimps it, he pimps it. So it's a 4-0 game yesterday. And evidently Michael Kay had enough. And when this was posted on Twitter, all Rays fans were like, shut the F up, Michael Kay. But if you remove the fact that it's a Yankees announcer and let's just let me see if we have it right here. I think this is the one.
Fly ball back to right field.
This is the actual replay.
Soto, he's going to look up and watch that one get out.
Okay.
An opposite field home run for Jose.
This is the Rays broadcast. And now he goes into saunter.
That will make it 4-1.
He's slowing down. The fans are booing.
Yeah, and that was after the bat
flip. And
halfway up the
Palacios
first base
is
line.
laughing his ass off. He stops at third and does some stupid.
What was that for?
I don't know what that is. Now the boo birds come even more. Now he's got some more histrionics that he's doing. Now he's doing the money thing. Now he's got to come back and get. Because he wasn't had to stop and come back.
Do we have the shot up the first base line?
And so, yeah. So that's the actual home run.
God.
Sorry for people on the podcast that didn't see it. So that took 30-some seconds. I believe this is the Michael Kay.
You're losing. I mean, celebrate when you're winning.
Yeah.
I mean, they're acting like it's Mardi Gras in that dugout. You're losing the game. But I asked Aaron Boone about it today, and he said, it's a new world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He says he tries to look away. Well, the Yankee fans have got themselves a new enemy. They see it, and every time he does that nonsense between second and third, they really boo him. And I think he enjoys it.
Oh, there's no question about that, Michael.
Yeah.
And then they added to it with this little quip here.
You know what we're becoming, Paul? And I don't like it. The old men shouting at clouds. We just got to shut up. This is the way it is. And if the players don't stop it, who are we to say it?
And that is correct. And here we are. Here, boomer take alert. He's a Rays player, and obviously I support the Rays, and I hate the freaking Yankees. I hate the freaking Yankees. And then Juan Soto hit one down the line, and he did a 34-second trot, which was in response. And he's pretty much known. So it's not just the Yankees. It's not the Rays doing it.
Yeah.
There's players all over the league doing it. And listen, I am all for a nice emotional reaction. If you want to do a little bit, a little bat flip, I'm okay. I'm okay with that. But then, you want to go around the bases and just say, look at me. I'm going to just walk around the bases and home run trot. And then I'm going to do the histrionics and all this other stupid, that's completely unnecessary in my opinion.
I don't know what those antics were. What does he do between second and third? What the crap is that?
They all have meaning to them. They all have some meaning. That I'm too old and shouting at the clouds guy to
Get
understand.
off my lawn.
Yeah. I just, listen, I don't necessarily think that things, just because, things are new, they're great.
Right.
In fact, it's quite the opposite. In my opinion, in a lot of different ways. And again, I think guys that say, "Oh, you should never bat flip, you should put your head down and just run around the bases." No, I don't agree with that. I think there is a very nice, classy, happy medium here that can be reached. And Siri is way too over the top for me. Too over the top for me. And when some of these histrionics get into the way they play baseball, I have a problem with it. I would point to this particular Rays team this year as the most fundamentally unsound team I've ever seen. And Siri is notorious for lollygagging and showboating and all those things that take away from your play. That affect your play. John Hill, one of our listeners who's watching this morning again, they are being a mascot, clown shows. It's a great point, but it's something that he pointed out last week that I thought was great, because he goes to the games and he watches the guys. And he was saying how, Randy Arozarena, instead of watching the pitcher while he was on deck, was, chatting to the crowd, throwing baseballs up over the net and not paying attention to the pitcher while he's on deck. That's inexcusable. This is part of your job as a hitter, is to watch what the pitcher is doing before you. He may be tipping his pitches. You have to watch the velocity. How's his command today? Every game is different. Even if you faced this pitcher before, every game is different, and you have to pay attention to what's going on when you're on deck and when you're in the dugout. By the way, you should be watching the pitcher and and talking about that instead of talking about your home run or whatever the hell you're doing. Focus on the freaking game, will you? It's not just, oh, I don't like the histrionics, I'm a boomer. I'm like, this is your job. You have your 2.5 hours a day. You need to be focused on baseball. And I think these Rays players are focused on anything but most of the time.
Let's put it in football terms.
It's all the little things are cute, the little home. You come in, you want to celebrate the home run and do the thing down the tunnel. Fine. Do you look like a softball team? Yes, you do. I'm more like, let's act like we've been here before. Let's act like we've done. I know for Rays, it's every time you hit a home run, it is history. But no, it's like, can we? And it's part of baseball, by the way. Have a little celebration. Let's get back to, you're down 4-1, by the way. Michael K's absolutely right about that. You're down 4-1, and you guys are celebrating like it's Mardi Gras. You just won a World Series. I don't want to, sit here and support the Yankee announcers ripping on the Rays, but I'm sorry. I'm trying to be objective, and they're right. They're 100% right, in my opinion.
So we can put it in football terms for those maybe that aren't into baseball. Baker Mayfield's playing in a game for the Bucks. They do have a 3-and-out, right? 3 incomplete passes, runs off the field. Instead of sitting on the bench while the defense is on the field and looking at whatever that used to be pictures, but now it's a tablet, right? Yeah. Instead of doing that or talking to his coach or on the phone with the OC with Cohen, he's over on this where the stands are talking to the fans.
Right.
High-fiving the fans and signing autographs, right?
Yeah.
It's the same thing, all right? Just pay attention to the game. That's part of your job. And just play baseball, man. I don't understand the antics. And I know, like Aaron Boone, like they quoted Aaron Boone, it's a new world. And 100% it is, and I freaking hate it. But
I kind of feel like Cash is the same way. And it was yesterday, somebody asked Cash about Siri's trot. They said, hey, you said something when he got to the dugout. Was it about the trot? And he's like, no, I said, good hit.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Which is BS. There's no way that's what he said.
Well, I don't think he's calling him out, because if he does, he's calling out his entire team. They all do it. It's a culture of this team. And it's also a culture of this team that they do not play good fundamental baseball like Rays teams used to do. Yeah, it seems to me like the histrionics crowd, the crowd that likes to celebrate everything and not in an organic way. It's not organic. It's all these choreographed 35-second prances around the bases. And listen, I know the Yankees were doing it too, but I think they were doing it in response to what the Rays were doing. And, is that just as good? No, it's not. But I have a less of a problem with that if they're making fun of the opposing team for doing it. I don't have a problem exactly.
with that.
That's their reaction.
Let's go back to a better time, if you want to call it that. Sammy Sosa, all right?
Yeah.
Big home run hitter, big steroid user. We all know he would not only use steroids, he corked his bats. Okay, we all know it.
Yep.
But you know what?
Facts.
When he had his home run trot, he didn't do any of that, the whatever that he did until he crossed home plate. And he's doing it as he's on his way to the dugout.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
I didn't understand what the hell it was. I thought it looked goofy, but that was his thing. But he did it after the trot, after he touched home plate on his way to the dugout. Do whatever you want. Back in the 2010, 2011, the Rangers, when they were going and losing World Series, they had their little thing with the claw and antlers. All right, a big play, you throw the claw up to your teammate, right? Right. Yeah. Hey, great play. Right. If you made a great base running play or you hit a double or a triple, you look over the dugout and you do the antlers, right? Well, it didn't affect the play. It was just that was it. Half a second, and it was over.
Done. Yeah, you're celebrating with looking into dugout. You're celebrating with your team. These guys, it seems to be like all about me, And even if you hit a bomb and you want to admire it a little bit, I'm okay with that. You don't have to put your head down and run around the bases. That's not what I'm saying. You hit a bomb and you went, oh wow, I smoked that one. Watch it a little bit, but just again, have a little class to it. Have a little. There's.
Yeah,
I don't even think it's a fine line. Like what Siri's doing is way over the top. Way over the top.
He should be setting the precedent for what not to do.
Yeah.
Like if they make a rule against this, that's where you start right there. And you work backwards.
And I couldn't really tell. Was in the game, I think it was the game yesterday. Siri came over and made a kind of a. He ran over. There was a ball in the right center gap, and he's so good at covering ground. I don't want to take anything away from his physical abilities because they're tremendous. But I'll tell you this: if the guy actually paid attention, he could probably be a 270 hitter instead of a 210 hitter. If he actually was paying attention and studying pitches and pitchers and paying attention to the game. But this was another one. I think it was Palacios who was coming behind him, or no, it's DeLuca, and he goes to dive for the ball, and Siri just comes in front of him and jumps up and grabs the ball. And they did an ISO on him for the last 20 yards that he was coming at the ball. And at no time did he call the ball. No, at no point did he say, I got it. He didn't say anything for the last 20 yards for a ball that's in the gap. And that's just me. That's just me saying, well, why are you not? That's baseball, man. DeLuca could have just absolutely obliterated you and screwed up the play, but you're just, I'm showboating here. I'm just going to run and jump up and grab the ball. And it's like, come on, dude.
That's outfield defense 101. Communicate with your center fielder.
Call the ball. And then DeLuca gets up and is like, where did you come from? I didn't hear a thing. I didn't hear. And that's, you could end a dude's career that way and your own.
Yeah.
And your own. And so, I think, look, if the Rays were 25 games over 500 and, Siri was hitting 280, would it be, would I still be complaining? Probably. but at least you'd be getting the job done. You're not getting the job done, and in too many instances, there's a lack of focus on this team. We see it every freaking – nobody covered second base the other day. There was a ball hit in the outfield, and Soto, and Soto's pimping it. He thinks he's got a home run, so he's not even running. So he's doing it, right? Run. You hit the ball, run. Unless you know it's gone. Anyway, so Siri comes over, misses the ball, and then throws the ball back. Nobody's covering second? How does nobody covering second base when a guy's going for a double? Like, how the F does that happen? Because you thought it was gone and you didn't think you should cover it? And, it's a home run, so I'm not going to run and cover second base. What are we doing? And this is 4 or 5 times a game. You see stupid plays like this with the Rays. On the base pass, out in the field. It's just a lack of concentration. It's a lack of concentration. It's a lack of focus. They're more focused on what earrings they're wearing, or what trot they're going to do, or what signal they're going to do, or what histrionics, than they are covering second base. Can we freaking cover second base? I mean, it's just ridiculous. Again, if you're ball buttoned up, like most Rays teams have been in the past, and you're on your details and you want to do all this stuff, I'm not going to like it, but at least I can, say that you're not getting the job done. You're a 500 team. And mostly because your defense sucks. You have no focus. Your at-bats are trash for the most part because you're not, it doesn't look like anybody's studying any video. They're wasted at-bats. Why can't you hit with runners in scoring position? Because you guys don't have any idea what's coming. It doesn't look like any of you studied any video, and you're just swinging at pitches that are out of the zone because you don't know what the plan is. This team looks like, to me, it's totally distracted and thinking about other things than baseball. So it's not just Yankee announcers, whining and bitching, because they always do anyway. It's actually something real. Am I wrong?
Right.
Baseball fans out there, am I wrong? Rays fans, what do you see from this team? Like John Hill said when he went to the game, I see guys that are more interested in playing to the crowd, and which is nice to interact with the crowd. I get it, but get your job done. You can do both. But most of your time should not be distracted with all this stupid stuff.
First priority is to win the game. If you can interact with the crowd and win the game, that's great. So, JP, at what point does this become a Kevin Cash problem? Because that's his job, to keep his guys in line and to keep his guys focused on the game, to get his guys prepared for each game, for each pitcher, for each matchup.
That's right.
And then at what point does it – I know his history there. He's won. I get it.
I've kind of.
How long does that buy him? How much time do those World Series how much time does that buy him?
Well, let me just say this. I'm not in the clubhouse. I'm not allowed. I'm not in the clubhouse. But I know Kevin Cash. I've known Kevin Cash for a long time. I've watched him manage for a long time. I've watched his teams for a long time. And this team is different. This team is way different. For all the things I just discussed. This is not a Kevin, and I've been saying this all year long. Not just this. I'm not some Johnny come lately to this. I've said this all year long. And if you've watched the Rays, and you guys know, you watch the games. How many times a game, and not to mention the grotesque amount of errors they've made this year, where they're 26th, 28th in defense. Terrible. Never been like this a Rays team. And a lot of that is focused because they got good defenders. But this is not a Rays team. They're not buttoned up. And I look at Kevin Cash's demeanor all the time, and I say, he's checked out. Like, I look at his interviews and I go, he's like, whatever. Don't ask me about and when he's asked about these gross, distracted, bad baseball plays, he kind of just shakes his head and, and kind of blows it off.
Right.
But you can see the frustration in his face. You can see it. You can see it. So I think he's kind of, accepted it. He's never going to make it public. And he sat a few guys down, but he's not going to make it public. And he's not going to, I'm sure he makes his point in the clubhouse, but it's pretty clear that with this group of guys, it's not getting through. So, and that's why one of the main reasons I would say some of these guys need to be shipped out. And they need to shift the culture back to the way it used to be, in my opinion.
Well, it needs to happen soon.
Yeah, well, it's a good opportunity.
I mean, the season's not quite lost yet.
It's time to sell. It's time to sell. This team's not going anywhere. It can't play defense. It pitches every once in a while. Offense is wildly inconsistent and not good. No,
Yeah.
they're 56. Their run differential. Well, it's probably 64 today. I haven't checked, but you just lost 9-1. They're negative 64 run differential. That's one of the worst in the league. How the hell are they 500?
Oh, for
I don't
sure.
know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not a good thing. All right, let's take a quick break. We're going to talk some football. We're going to talk about a really good franchise, franchise that wins championships.
Got it figured out.
And it's got, you want to talk about buttoned up. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are ready to go. On the little note on an interview I did yesterday in Fort Myers Station talking about the Bucs. So we got that. We got Scott Reynolds, all kinds of good stuff coming up. We are brought to you by the great folks at the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES If you are looking for someone to represent you vigorously and aggressively in an accident or against an insurance company, Scott Jeeves is your man. He is well respected in the community, and nobody wants to see a letter from the Jeeves Law Group. JEEVESLawGroup.com. Get them on your side. If you've been involved in an accident, it's your first call. Go to JeevesLawGroup.com. The number's right there, and call them. Get them on your side. JeevesLawGroup.com. Back in 3 with Scott Reynolds. Get ready to dazzle this summer with the largest jewelry collection at the Gold and Diamond Source. Feel the heat of July with the fiery brilliance of Ruby. That's July's birthstone, Ruby. Well, that's my birthstone. I'll take one. It's perfect for adding a touch of luxury to your summer style. Embrace the unique beauty and significance of July's gemstone for any occasion, from beach parties to evening soirees, and mark a special 15th anniversary with a stunning ruby, the traditional gem of this very important milestone. And take advantage of our exclusive offer, 5 years of interest-free financing. That means you can own a $5,000 ring or watch or anything and pay only $83 a month with zero interest. And when you shop online, you can enjoy a special summer discount of 15% off July's birthstone. Make this summer unforgettable by visiting the Golden Diamond Source and finding the perfect piece to shine in the sun. It's the Golden Diamond Source, 3800 Omerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. As we head into summer and hurricane season, you must make sure that your home is fully insured. Over 40% of people in Florida are not fully insured because property rates have gone up lately. Your home is worth more, so it needs to be insured. Call the great folks at Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799 to make sure you're fully insured. And also, you might just save some money. There are new companies coming into the state all the time. In fact, we just shopped our homeowners insurance, and I'm telling you, folks, we saved over $550 because Charity, the great customer service at Italiano Insurance, did all the work and found us a better company and a cheaper company. She'll do the same for you. 813-877-7799. Do something about these high rates. Shop them around. It could save you lots of money. It's Italiano Insurance. Been doing business here locally for over 60 years. 813-877-7799. Tell them JP sent you.
Hey, Tampa Bay sports fans. This is two-time LPGA major champion Jane Geddes here. After winning the U.S. Open and 10 other LPGA events, I wanted to try something completely different. So I came right off the top turnbuckle and landed in the crazy world of WWE. And yes, you heard that right. That's WWE. Working for the Vince McMahon as the VP of Talent Relations for the company. Now, though, I want to work for you. Everything I've done in my life, I've done with incredible passion. And now I've turned my focus to leading the best real estate team in Tampa Bay, the Gettys Gordon Group with Keller Williams in South Tampa. If you're looking for a new home, an investment property, or looking to sell your current home, we will give you major championship level service. When you choose Gettys Gordon Group, you become part of our inner circle, like family. So if you're looking for a few golf tips or a golf course view, we're going to stripe it right down the fairway. Call me at 813-485-6808 or go to gettysgordongroup.com, or again, give me a ring at 813-485-6808.
JP here for TryHydrateHeroes.com. That's our new website where you can get a free 3-pack of the great Hydrate Heroes electrolyte hydration drink, all for free. Just go to TryHydrateHeroes.com. We'll send you a 3-pack. While you're there, go ahead and buy the 30-pack for just $29.99. Special going on, less than $1 a serving. For all the good stuff, none of the bad stuff. Folks, a lot of these hydration drinks have tons of sugar, tons of calories. Hydrate Heroes, just 5 calories, and they have all the electrolytes in there. plus other stuff that's going to benefit you. A mushroom blend that will help with inflammation. So much other good stuff in there. None of the bad stuff. It's Hydrate Heroes. Go to tryhydrateheroes.com and get your free 3-pack. The new Tropical Punch flavor is out, and it is fantastic. They'll send you some. Just go to tryhydrateheroes.com. Get all the information there. Pick up a 30-pack as well. Tryhydrateheroes.com. All the good stuff, none of the bad stuff. JP here for Third Generation AC and Plumbing. And Third Generation really says it all, folks. The owner, my friend John Rodriguez, has been in the AC and plumbing business since 1995. They built their business on honest assessments and doing great work on time for a great price. Simple, right? Did you know many AC techs are incentivized on big commissions to sell new AC units, and you might just need a drain cleared? So if you want someone you can trust, that's John Rodriguez in Third Generation Services. Check out the 5-star Google reviews. If you have a plumbing or AC emergency, call 813-961-8024 and a human will answer the phone. That's 813-961-8024 or go to thirdgenerationplumbing.com.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show. Waiting on Scott Reynolds there. I can't talk because of all our...
No Scott yet.
Okay. He said he's joining us. I'll give him a little nudge to jump on. Welcome back to the show, by the way. Brought to you by the great folks at Italiano Insurance. Boy, those homeowners rates are going crazy. So I just had mine shopped around, and we saved $500. So
That's a lot of beer.
that is a lot of beer. And when, considering everybody else is going up thousands of dollars,
Yeah.
so why don't you have them shopping around, and you never know what's going to happen. So 813-877-7799. See, I kind of multitasked there. I texted and I did a live read. It was a crappy live read. I will be, 100% honest about that. But we got the information out there, and I think the point was made. Go save some money. Call Italiano Insurance while I'm texting Scott Reynolds. As I get older, it's so much harder to multitask, is it not?
My God, it's almost impossible. Yeah, I do a lot of multitasking when I co-host the show for you because I'm trying to do video stuff and I'm trying to post things on X and transfer files and crap like that, and it's almost impossible.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure everybody looks at me and it looks like I'm really distracted and not paying attention to the show, but I promise I'm doing stuff for the show and I'm not looking at the screen.
That's why I try to be transparent, tell you people what I'm doing. I'm not going to bull crap you. Like you guys don't know. Like he sounds like Kamala Harris. Like what kind of word salad was that? Yeah, absolutely. That's right. Well, you'll hear things on this show you won't hear other places. That's true. Damn sure. That's true. Let's welcome in our good friend Scott Reynolds from the Pewter Report. How are you, partner?
Good. How are you guys?
Oh, it looks like it must be training camp because you got a haircut. You got a haircut. You looking good, brother.
Ready to sweat my what off.
I know. We're all excited about training camp. And then we get out there for the first half hour and they're stretching and I'm fully drenched in sweat right now. Why are we here?
Yeah, exactly. I might pull a veteran move and just, be like Levante David and just walk out late,
Well,
if Scott Reynolds isn't here today. Oh, wait, yeah, there he is. Right when the action's starting. Rather than
exactly. So if you're smart, you stay in the media room till about 10. Practice starts at 8, right? Or 8:30.
8:30, I think.
Yeah. So if you're smart, you stay in the air-conditioned media room till about 9:15. Yeah. And then, the rest of it is just... Yes, the rest of it
doing
is
things for the website.
You're missing the stretching and the bag drills and special teams.
Right, exactly.
And then you come out at 9:15, and then
sounds good to me. I'm in.
Right.
Yeah,
that's when it's been. What this will be year 28 for me. My 28.
29 for me.
Yeah, 29. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah,
we're 29. Young. We're young and vibrant.
Yeah, we are.
I don't even know what those words mean anymore.
Still alive and kicking.
Yeah, damn right. Damn right. All right. Well,
Mr. Chris Lugo.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Let's do a little Bay Area Modern Medical Center live read right now. That's right. Yeah. We got our testosterone right. We got our nutrition right. We're sleeping better.
Yeah, dude. I'm telling you right now, I owe you, JP, because you've talked about it for a long time. I asked you about it before. Finally pulled the trigger about, maybe it was last fall, so almost a year. And best decision I ever made. I only wish I was smart enough to listen to you and act upon that years ago. So
yeah.
Christopher Lugo is the real deal. Seriously, the best primary care doctor I've ever had in my life, not just for testosterone and weight loss and all that. I'm down to 205 pounds, my friend. I've lost about 10 pounds this offseason. So I'm in training camp shape right now.
Look at you. Yeah. And I not only do, from a weight standpoint, but also you can build your muscle mass when you're back on. Like I went through about 8 to 10 years where I was working out and I was just getting fat.
Exactly.
You just realize that something is wrong. And then when you actually go in and you start working out and you're gaining your muscle mass back, which of course eats more
wait
calories.
A minute, I'm 52. I'm not supposed to be doing this yet. I am. Like I'm 40 again. So it's cool.
So, wait, we have breaking news here.
Oh man, to feel 40 again. I can't even imagine.
This is more breaking news. Oh, the Secret Service director resigned.
Oh, wow.
Shocking development.
Quite compelling testimony yesterday.
It sounded like an SNL sketch.
It really did. It really did. And then you say, well, she did work at Frito-Lay.
Did she?
She came from, PepsiCo, Frito-Lay. That's why everybody's like, go back to
the way right here in Plano, Texas.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. She was Secret Service before that. She was on I think the Biden detail with Joe Biden when he was vice president, he was vice president, and she was there collecting all the money. And so then she went to Frito-Lay or PepsiCo.
Yeah.
Was head of security there. And then, of course, brought her back here. And
well, her performance yesterday reminded me of like the onslaught of like what Todd Bowles did to Jalen Hurts in the Philadelphia Eagles offense. It was just like it was over before it began.
Wow, look at that profestional broadcast transition right there. How about that?
That's Cook caliber right there.
That was God bless him.
Yeah,
absolutely. And so here we go.
Yeah.
And I was doing a hit for a Fort Myers station yesterday, Scotty, and it was like, and they had Sal Pal on, and Sal Pal and I have been talking about this, all off season. And they asked Sal Pal, who's the team to watch? And he said the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have got it all going in the right direction.
One of these going to figure out the Bucs are pretty good, So it just, I mean, that's fine. They don't mind being in this underdog role. I mean, they're the hunters once again rather than the hunted. That's okay. I mean, this team's used to it, and they're fighting for respect. And the only way you're going to get respect is in the postseason. And, they got to beat the Lions. They got to beat the 49ers. Both of these teams are on the schedule, so they'll get one crack at them there, probably another shot at them in the playoffs. And I just see this Buccaneer team. We might have talked about this before, almost like the Lions last year, where, they were like 9-8, didn't make the playoffs. And then last year, hey, Moose, shut up. I'm on the air. Sorry, it's my dog. Moose. He literally barged in. I had my door closed. He literally found a way to open the door, and there is a dog across the street he's barking at. Anyways, that's my point. We're talking about lions, Moose, not dogs.
Yes.
The Lions then make this big, huge leap last year, 12-5, win the division, etc. And I think the Buccaneers are capable of that. I do think this is a double-digit winning season for the Buccaneers. Is it 10 wins? Is it 11? Is it 12 like the Lions had last year? We'll see. It's going to depend on a couple of things. Injuries, and the Buccaneers were really healthy last year. I mean, really healthy. If they can duplicate that again, I think they're going to be in great shape. And then it just how the ball bounces, right? Sometimes got to be, as Todd Bowles told me the other day, it's better to be lucky than good sometimes. And you have to have a little bit of good fortune on your side. And that's what's great about the NFL is the Lions aren't going to start off at 12-5 this year. The Bucs aren't going to start off at 9-8 this year. You got to start from 0-0 and earn those wins.
You got to prove yourself.
You have to prove yourself. But I do see the Buccaneers kind of being like a year behind the Lions, And if that's the case, then I think they have what it takes to win that divisional playoff game, and maybe even not play in the wild card. Maybe they'll have the best record in the league. I don't know, but whether it's 10, 11, 12, I don't think it's going to be 13. I don't think this team is there yet. I think 2025 is really the year where this team is on track for the Super Bowl, in my opinion, or at least being a Super Bowl contender.
I think what keeps them from those the 12, 13 wins and 11, I think is possible, is the schedule.
Yeah.
If the Bucs are playing the Falcons schedule, I'd be going 13. I'd be saying 13 right now. And that, that counts, folks, because they're in your division, but you don't play the same schedule.
Yeah.
You would think you do, but you don't. It's similar. It's very similar, but there's three key differences in there that make one schedule the hardest in the league or one of the hardest, and the other one the easiest in the league. And that makes a difference.
Yeah. And the thing too is as Todd Bowles told me the other day, and it's not breaking news or anything, but he's like, we're playing all four teams that were in the Final Four last year. And, both Super Bowl teams, the Chiefs, the 49ers, the Lions, and the Ravens. So they're going to be battle tested. And I think that might serve them well, even if they take some L's in the process, even if they go 1-3 against those teams or 2-2 against those teams, even if it's not a 3-1 or 4-0 sweep. I think that the experience they'll gain, they're going to have some measuring sticks throughout the year. And one of them's going to be in week 2 at Detroit to see how much progress they made. They made some progress against the 49ers last year. It wasn't that 35-7 blowout that it was in Brock Purdy's rookie season. They made some progress. They put up a fight. Now they get the 49ers on their turf in Tampa. An interesting thing is that's a 1:00 game. That's a little rare. Usually it's a 4:00 game, especially for West Coast teams. That's a 1:00 game, which means the 49ers are going to be playing
at 9
like
a.m.
really early, like 9 a.m. So sometimes those time zone differences, sometimes elevation when you get to Denver and stuff, sometimes those little things matter. So we'll see how the Bucs and 49ers fare this year against each other.
All right, so Tristan Wirfs is the, if we got a nitpick about anything, I mean, you got, all over the league, you got controversies everywhere. Jordan Love isn't practicing. Hassan Reddick is holding out. Aaron Rodgers has to answer all these questions about minicamp. There's none of that going on in Tampa. The only thing we got is Tristan Wirfs probably not going to practice until they get this deal, which I'm fine with. And I don't think it's going to take deep into camp. Is that where
There's
you're
no
at?
Animosity. This would be the friendliest hold in ever. Tristan will be there smiling and saying, "Hey, I'm a veteran. It's my year 4. If I take a week off from the wear and the tear and
underwear
and
football,
all that stuff, that's fine." You're right too. That's the thing, JP, is these first 3 practices are going to be an extension of OTAs in the minicamp, which is flag football. And then the real fun starts on Sunday. And so I wouldn't be surprised if this deal isn't done through the first week and maybe it drags into the second week. I think they're going to come to an agreement. I do know that the Bucs front office literally closed down for summer vacation. Mike Greenberg got some R&R. Jason Light got some R&R. They did not even pick up the phone and they said, we'll deal with this week. So they're restarting negotiations this week. Maybe something gets done. Maybe it drags on for a week or two, but I would be a little bit more concerned if Tristan Wirfs was making the switch from right tackle to left tackle this year, but he already did it last year. He's got that under his belt. He's a smart, cerebral football player. When it comes to the blocking schemes, they're not that much different in terms of the workload between Dave Canales' system and what Liam Cohen's going to be running. So if he holds out a week or two, I'm not concerned. It won't be a holdout. It'll be a hold in. He'll be in camp.
Scott Reynolds joining us here from the Pewter Report. Training camp basically open now. The rookies are in. Is there, when you watch the first few days, are there guys that you're going to be eyeballing, maybe new faces that are out there that are trying to make a name for themselves? Who are those guys that because we know who the vets are. We know where the battles are. Right. But there's also battles to make this team. And there's always a few guys that end up, being, Zion McCullum was one of that guys. Even though he was a draft pick, you could see early on that he was going to contribute. Who are those guys?
I think the 2 sleepers, the undrafted free agents that you want to keep an eye on in camp, on one side of the ball and the other, Cameron Johnson, the wide receiver out of Tiny Barton College.
Yeah.
I mean, he's really generated some buzz. I mean, he could be in line for that wide receiver 5 or wide receiver 6 job. We know it's Mike and Chris. It's either going to be Jalen or Trey for that number 3, and whoever loses is number 4. So really, will this team keep 6 wide receivers? I think so, because they're going to be
Sterling Shepard too. It was interesting.
Yeah, there's a chance there, but remember, this guy was kind of semi-retired.
Yeah, he was.
And he's 30. He's got some injuries that have slowed him down a little bit. He's not like a big possession receiver like a Keyshawn Johnson.
He's an insurance policy.
He's an insurance policy. Exactly. Yeah. He's an insurance policy. He's a guy that is going to hang around and help out the young guys and stuff. And if there's a role, if there's an injury, then he's the insurance policy. Yeah. If not, he might not make this team. But I think that Cameron Johnson could be in line for wide receiver 5 or 6. I think Raheem Jarrett's also in the mix as well. Mm-hmm. So this team could keep 6 wide receivers, only 3 tight ends this year, because they're going to be running 11 personnel, which is 1 running back, 1 tight end.
Thank God.
Yeah,
Thank God.
I'm with you. Hey, this offense had to come into the 21st century at some point. Right?
Yes.
It did. And it's here. And it's fun. And it's exciting.
I don't want to see 3 tight ends on the field, especially when none of them are over 240.
And none of them name is Gronkowski. Right. So, yeah, that's agreed.
With all due respect.
Yes.
Was that a Canales thing you
yeah.
guys had to deal with?
Yeah. Okay. It was a Canales thing. Yeah. I mean, he went with 12 personnel, and the problem is you need your best 11 on the field in almost every situation. Mm-hmm. And when you go with that second tight end, that's not the 11th best player. It's just not. So I think that you're gonna see this roster really adhere to its strengths, and it's going to be a perfect seamless fit for Liam Cohen's offense. Yeah, spread the field. Running into lighter boxes.
Yes,
because you got 3 receivers over here, 1 tight end flexed over there. It's just going to spread things out. It's going to help the running game as well as it's going to help the passing attack. The guy on defense to keep an eye on is Tyreek Funderburk, undrafted free agent, cornerback out of Appalachian State. I think if there's one little maybe Achilles heel in terms of depth, it's cornerback. Mm-hmm. Not sold on Bryce Hall. He's not the fleetest of foot corner.
Really?
To me, reminds me of different body style, but playing style, Jerron Bolden, where 20 yards and in, he's your guy. Mm-hmm. But this guy is not going to win foot races.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, if you're playing man coverage with this guy and he does not get the effective jam, I mean, 25 yards down the field is not going to be pretty. And we saw that a couple times. He got burned second day of minicamp by Raheem Jarrett for a touchdown on the very first play of 11-on-11, and then also later in the drill. So something to keep an eye on. But Tyreek Funderburk is a player that can play nickel. He can play outside. He's worth keeping an eye on. And then I think the guys to really watch from this rookie class, I would not be surprised if by midseason, certainly by the end of the year, you've got 4 starters out of this draft class. Talking about Graham Barton, who will be your day 1 starting center. Chris Braswell will eventually at some point start opposite Yaya Diaby.
I agree.
Might be a half the season kind of thing, like what took Diaby a while, but he's going to ultimately get there. Then you've got the third round guys, Jalen McMillan, who I think has the edge over Trey Palmer, just a little bit more of a fluid, a little bit more of a consistent catcher.
Yeah.
And then Tyke Smith, I think he's going to win the starting nickel job. If he hasn't won it already, he's going to win it in the first week. He is not the athlete that Antoine Winfield Jr. is, but in terms of the football IQ, the instincts, the seeing it before it happens,
catching the ball,
the playmaking ability, it's going to be like having another Winfield back there. And I think that was the missing ingredient, because as solid as Christian Izien was, it's like he had 2 interceptions. One was a very heady play in week 1. The other one was a little bit of a gift in week 2. And then no interceptions for 17 straight weeks. They need more playmaking out of that nickel corner, that slot position. And I think that Tyke Smith's going to be that guy right away. And so that's 4 starters on a very stacked Buccaneer roster, talent-wise, that are coming out of this draft class. And typically in any year, in any draft class for any team, you hope to get 2 or 3 starters. So I think this is a draft class that just added 4 more starters right off the bat. And that's pretty exciting to see, because Jason Light and his crew have been doing the job, stacking and racking these draft picks the last couple of years.
Scott, defensively, one of the things we saw all the time was miscommunications. Yeah. And this is one of the things where I think this team is so much better, because when you take out a Devin White and a Carlton Davis and a Ryan Neal.
Mm-hmm.
3 guys that football IQ wise, maybe not that best.
Yeah.
Maybe not the best. And you replace them with guys that I think are probably going to be very high IQ guys in what is a very I want to say difficult defense, but it's a lot. And when Todd is operating at its best, this gives him a lot more options that he can call with confidence. Combo coverages that will fool the defense, the better quarterbacks, which you're going to see on this schedule. You got to be able to disguise stuff and be able to throw multiple different things at him and have the confidence that these guys are going to be able to run it. And you're not going to see some guy running wide open 25 yards down the field, which happened a lot last year, and giving up 3rd and 17 like it was, Tootsie Rolls at the doctor's office.
Yeah.
It's just that's where I think this defense makes a dramatic change and goes from 26th in passing defense to hopefully in the top 15.
I agree. I think Zion McCollum, Todd Bowles called him my guy. He's like, that's my guy. Zion McCollum is going to be a huge upgrade this year over Carlton Davis. He is a sponge. He's got it up here. He's got the athleticism down there. I think as long as he stays healthy, and he stayed healthy all last year, I mean, it seems like he's one of those guys. I think he's going to be a big upgrade there. Jordan Whitehead, we've talked about before. He is the traffic cop. He is the air traffic control. He is the communicator in that secondary. He and Levante David are like this when it comes to seeing the same thing, saying the same verbiage. So all 11 guys are on the same page. KJ Britt, Todd Bowles spoke so highly of KJ Britt, and he's like, I love Devin White, but man, KJ Britt he's just a student of the game, and his football IQ, his recognition is off the charts. He's never out of position. He may not have that sideline speed, but sometimes that would get Devin in trouble, overrunning plays, trying to run around blocks rather than taking them on, staying in your gap. So, and I think we saw the improved run defense down the stretch because of KJ Britt's insertion. And the good news is if Britt is not athletic enough to essentially handle the third downs, the 3rd and longs, those obvious passing situations, Todd Bowles might go dime and bring in an extra DB, or it might be a situation where Servassier Dennis, another high football IQ linebacker, comes in. Remember, this was the pick 6 guy last offseason into training camp.
Situational, positionless defense.
Yes, and it might be a situation where you have Servassier Dennis come in on those passing downs because he is a very good blitzer. He's very good in coverage. Again, not the athlete that Devin White was in terms of his sideline to sideline speed, but probably more agile, more fluid than KJ, and having that kind of similar football IQ and the ability to read, react, and all of that stuff. So I think that Servassier's football IQ is higher than Devin White's was, and I think that his athleticism is higher than KJ Britt's. So you might see a platoon there, and that's not a bad thing. Todd Bowles is going to put the best 11 guys on the field for every down and distance situation that come up.
And I think Graham Barton really is the focal point for me on offense in terms of changes and upgrades. There's not going to be a competition with Robert Hainsey. That's not.
No.
It might be like last year's quarterback competition.
Yeah, that's what it's going to be like. Graham Barton does not want to be handed the job. Okay, fine. We'll play the charade. You're in a competition, Graham, but you're going to get the lion's share of those snaps with the starting quarterback. There is some value to having some reps with Kyle Trask because, as we know, especially the quarterback position, you're one hit away from the backup quarterback being in there. So it is vital. Robert Hainsey last year was in his 3rd year of snapping the ball to Kyle Trask, right? And then Baker Mayfield gets there, right? So right now, Graham Barton has 0 experience snapping to Baker Mayfield and 0 experience snapping to Kyle Trask. So you do need to have reps with your backups and stuff, but the charade's going to be over pretty quickly. You're going to, if it's not on day 1 in training camp, which you very well could be, they might just come out and say, hey, you did enough. You did enough in OTAs with no pads on to get the starting job, Graham. So it's going to happen sooner or later for him. He's going to be the guy because you want to get as many reps as possible with your starting quarterback. So you start seeing those formations and make the line calls together as quickly as possible.
And I want to see him move some people too.
Yeah.
Pads come on. Go ahead,
Scott,
Timmy.
have you heard anything about what they're planning to do in the running game? Any changes? Are they going to try to utilize Bucky Irving more than not? Or I know Rashad's going to be the starter, obviously.
He is. And here's the thing with Rashad. Number one, I think he took about 90% of the carries last year. And he only averaged, I think, 3.6, 3.7 yards per carry. They want to get him over 4 for sure. 4.4 would be great. And the only way that happens is to decrease the workload. So you're more productive because you're fresher. You've got fresher legs. And so giving some of that workload to Bucky Irving might actually help Rachaad White not just get to 1,000 yards, but 1,100, 1,200 yards, because he's not going to be the guy that has to wear the defense down every single carry. And then I think the other thing too is you look, he was healthy for all 19 games. That's rare for running backs.
Yeah.
So you want to take some of that wear and tear off him to keep him healthy and fresh into the postseason. And yeah, I do think that he is going to be a factor in this running game. I think there will be a 1-2 punch. Chase Edmonds will be that third running back just because he's the old crafty veteran. But I think more than anything, the two things that are going to help the running game, three things. Number one, you're going to see the 3-by-1 splits open up the middle of the defense, run into lighter boxes. Number two, Baker Mayfield's ability to change the play at the line of scrimmage. Way too often, there were DOA plays, dead on arrival, where you walk up the line of scrimmage and you call the run to the right. The defense knows it's coming based on down distance formation tells, right? They watch film, and you're looking at a no-yard play, a 1 or 2 yard run.
I didn't chart it, but I'd say 65% of Rashad's carries were in 12 personnel up the middle.
Probably. Yeah, probably. Yeah. And then I think the third thing is just more plays. And that's Liam Cohen coming out and saying that. This is not like my observation where I'm charting the plays and stuff. Liam Cohen said, well, part of the running problem last year was not enough plays. We're going to have more running plays this year. More running plays on film gives defenses more time to study. There's only X amount of time, practice time, you have as an NFL defensive player. And if you have to prepare for, and I'm just pulling these numbers out of my hat here, if you have to practice for 24 run plays, okay, you break up the time and you get reps against those plays. If you're practicing against 48 run plays, what I mean by that is same running plays at a bunch of different formations, some with shifts, some with motions, and all of that. So it's not really 48 run plays, but it's 48 plays that have a particular run out of these different shifts, personnel groupings, formations, motion, etc. And the more you put out there on film in the preseason, the more defenses have to study.
Yeah.
And so it's less reps against the same play. So if you only have, let's call it an hour's worth of practice time where you're going up against a particular offense and you got 24 plays, you can handle that. If it's 48, you're not going to get nearly as many reps, right? Because you have twice the amount of plays you have to study for. So that's where it's going to help too, is it's not going to be as easy to guess what the Buccaneers are going to do. They're going to be less predictable as a result of having more running plays.
And run plays versus nickel and dime defenses will probably average at least a yard more per carry. And
if you look at Kyron Williams, who was a slow running back coming out of Notre Dame. He was a Pro Bowler last year, 12 touchdowns, I think over 1,100 yards. I want to say he averaged close to 5 yards a carry, just because of the offense he was in. Right? If you put Kyron Williams in the Bucs offense last year instead of Rachaad White, he's not a Pro Bowler. He's not getting 1,000 yards. Right? Rachaad White might be a better running back than Kyron Williams, but the production was there because the offense was there for that. And I think you're going to see a similar type of offense here in Tampa. And if I had to guess, I think Rashaad's probably looking at 1,100 yards. And I think Bucky's probably looking at maybe 500 yards. And that's a huge increase in terms of your total rushing production. And that's not including the Baker Mayfield scrambles, the carries here and there for Chase Edmonds. So I think this running game is going to go from just about dead last in the league to closer to middle of the pack. And if that's the case, this Bucs offense is going to be really, really good. It
opens up the pass game. Yeah. That's how that works. Yep. All right, Scott, 29 training camps in.
Yep.
What's your favorite part about training camp that's not necessarily football related?
When it's over. Can I say that? No, I think my favorite part of training camp, honestly, it's not even here anymore. Like I would say the one-on-one pass rush, pass protection, because that's the only hint of physicality anymore.
Yeah.
It just I remember the
goal
days.
line. Remember full contact goal line.
I remember full contact goal line. I remember two padded practices per day, even under Tony Dungy.
Yeah.
So just the game has really kind of been less physical. I want to say another word, but I'm not going to. It's just.
What are you going to say? Pussified?
Oh, that's a good term. I didn't say that, but you did. Yeah. Yeah. It's.
And I mean that with all due respect. I would last about 20 seconds out there.
I mean, it's a shame because. Like I remember talking with Tony Mayberry, who is a shell of his former self. You know, you see some of these linemen that I mean, he played at like 290.
They do the Brad Culpepper.
Yeah, he's about 180 pounds right now. Yeah. And I remember talking to him when they had the alumni day a couple of years ago, and he was out at practice. I want to say it was like Dirk Cutter's last year, maybe several years ago, I guess. And he said, man, I came to the wrong practice today. And I said, why is that? He's like, oh, they're not hitting today. I'm like, they don't hit any day. like this is every day. He's like, what do you mean? I said, yeah, man. I said, they don't do any like tackling drills where they're bringing people to the ground. They don't do any goal line or any type of like full on periods anymore. And he said, I don't understand it because I would go through training camp and still it would take me till about week 2 to really get my body hardened and conditioned, even after training camp.
Yeah.
And he said, I just don't see how these NFL players do that. And maybe that's why you see the rash of injuries in week 1 and week 2 and stuff, because these guys are they're conditioned physically. They can run around.
Practice is so different than the game.
It just
in terms of tackling and hitting and everything. Which coach was that used to go goal line first period? Like of training camp. Was it?
I mean, Gruden did that some. Gruden was an old school coach. He really was. You know,
it was like we're done stretching.
Yeah.
Goal line.
Yeah, let's wake these guys up, Monty. You know, like that's
And they would go, and that was like, and they got after it. Like it was all Stott, meeting Derek Brooks in the hole, and it was and there were pads were pop, and the guys celebrated. It was a full on competition. Like we were effing going after each other, right? And it was absolute. It was amazing.
Well, here's the crazy thing. Here's the crazy thing, JP. And I mean, I'm 52. I'm not going to trust my memory, but it's like I don't really remember those practices, those sessions, those 11-on-11s and goal line and stuff. I don't remember them resulting in injury.
I don't either.
Like real serious injuries. I'm sure like there were some fingers that got mangled and stuff, like feet that got stepped on where like you probably had, your toe bruised or something from the cleats. But it's like then when you're not in pads, and you've got Aaron Stinney blocking Logan Hall into the knee of Ryan Jensen
because they're not ready
on
for
the second day of camp. Yeah, exactly.
They're not ready for it. Like this because you don't know how to dial it down. You guys get because I think that was when Logan was a rookie. So you got the rookies thinking that's it's 100%.
Right.
And the veterans are like, this is a 65% drill here. So he's not expecting it. He's just kind of, I'm going to butt up like this. All of a sudden you got a 290-pound guy like crashing into your knee. You're like, oh, F. I wasn't ready for that.
Yeah.
And so, absolutely it can backfire.
Yeah.
But, again, the world is, as we started the show with, the world has changed.
We live in
What did Aaron Boone say? It's a new world, JP.
A new world. It's a new world.
That includes football.
It includes football. Right. Yeah. So one of my favorite memories about training camp is at UT getting to go into
those are the best.
Go into the cafeteria and eat with the players.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah,
remember that?
Yes, I do. I do remember that. That was cool. The other thing I remember about UT was those bushes that they had by the old soccer stadium, where like Brad Culpepper, Warren Sapp used to go take pisses.
Or sometimes Sapp just pissed in his uniform. Like literally just, I don't have time to go to the bathroom or I don't want to. I'm too tired. I'm just going to take a piss right here.
Yeah. I mean,
it's wet already. I'm soaked in sweat. So what's the
urine?
Difference?
What's the difference?
Yeah. That's what I do during the show, JP. I can't get up.
We have diapers for that now, Tim.
Yeah. You just categorize right there. Tim. Just categorize.
It just depends.
I didn't see it going this
Just
way, but
depends.
thank you. Thank you, Scott Reynolds, for your those great thoughts on trainings camps past. Good stuff. I'll see you out there tomorrow, partner.
Looking forward to it. We'll see you, Tim.
And of course,
Bye, man.
Of course, Peter Report. Don't forget all the podcasts today.
Yeah, we got
right?
podcast today, 4 o'clock. We podcast today through Friday. So we're going to take you all the way through the pre-camp, all the way through the first week of camp, 4 o'clock Eastern time, live on Pewter Report TV, our YouTube channel. If you missed the live shows, they're all archived up there, so you can watch them. We're also on iTunes, Spotify, etc. for the audio versions. Check out pewterreport.com, crank up the Bucks coverage as always, and follow us on special.
I'm ready anytime if you want to invite me again. Last time I couldn't come for some stupid reason, but whenever you're ready, I'll be happy to jump on.
We'll have you on soon, really soon. And you can follow us on social media on X, Facebook, and Instagram at Pewter Report.
All right, partner. Great stuff.
Thanks,
see you
guys.
tomorrow.
Yep.
At 9:30, because we're veterans. We're not going to be out there for stretching.
Heck no. That is unnecessary.
All right, we will take a break, and when we come back, we'll do a little college football. Also, I mentioned it earlier in the show, Taylor Walls with his Trump-like celebration. He did a lengthy interview in the Times, and I think some of his answers were very, very interesting and maybe shed a light on where this team is at in a lot of different ways.
That's becoming a popular thing in baseball, by the way.
What's that? Yeah.
The home run trot.
Yep. So we shall dive into that because we do that on this show. We're not afraid. We are not afraid.
We ain't scared.
The First Amendment is alive and well here, folks. And the Second Amendment, according to that gun you have behind you. It's Texas. We got plenty of guns. We'll be back in 3. Stay with us.
You're listening to The Strike. 102.5 WHPT HD2 Sarasota, Tampa, St. Pete.
JP here for the Jeeves Law Group and my man Scott Jeeves, who lives right here and has long been a highly respected member of our community. He's a proud sponsor of the Tampa Riverwalk. Jeeves Law Group is also a proud sponsor of our Grand Central District in St. Pete and has neighborhood events throughout the year. He has an office on Central Avenue in St. Pete and one on South Howard in Tampa. You can't get more local than that. So when you need an attorney, you're going to hire some huge firm that advertises all over the state or the one that supports your favorite sports show. It's the Jeeves Law Group. We're local, we're trusted, and we get results. For personal injury and personal attention, call us for a free case evaluation. That's 8889-JEEVES. That's 8889-JEEVES.
All right, this is for all you guys who don't want to go to the gym and do 5,000 crunches. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, you can get on the new True Body machine where you can reduce fat and tone up your muscle. It's like doing 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Define your body as you see fit. True Body offers personalized muscle stimulation that delivers the equivalent of those 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Just get in touch with them at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Chris Lugo and the team over there will set you up on True Body and get amazing results. Non-invasive with comfortable and little to no pain and zero downtime. You can isolate and target those areas that you want to improve and treat multiple areas simultaneously. It's an amazing machine, so check it out at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com.
JP here to ask the question, are you planning an event, meeting, or conference? If so, you'll want to call the designers and production professionals at Extravaganza Productions Incorporated. With over 35 years of experience in the events industry, designing and producing every type of small to large event, they can provide a huge resource for design ideas, audio, visual, sound, lighting, decor, and entertainment to turn your event into an incredible experience for the entire audience. Folks, I've worked up close and personal with this group at many national events and Tampa events, and they have unique capabilities that help you save time and money in the planning and execution of your next event. Don't delay. Call these pros today at 813-621-4700 or check out their website at extravaganzaproductions.com. Tell them JP sent you and they'll provide a free initial consultation for your event. Extravaganza Productions, the best in the business. Golfers, listen up. The hottest new driving range craze has come to Rogers Park in Tampa. The Top Tracer range is now open 10 to 9 p.m. And just like you see on TV, every shot is tracked for yardage and accuracy, giving you immediate feedback. And best of all,
You can virtually play the top courses like Pebble Beach or St. Andrews with your buddies. Plus, great food and drink options available in the well-appointed hitting bays. Very comfortable out there. Reservations highly recommended, starting at $25 per hour, including balls. Reserve at RogersParkGolf.net. That's RogersParkGolf.net. See you there.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show here in our second hour, brought to you by the great folks at Third Generation Services, AC and Plumbing. Third Generation says it all, folks. John Rodriguez has been in the AC business for over 25 years now, and the plumbing business, and they built it on honest assessments and doing great work for a great price. Isn't that what you want? You call an AC guy or a plumbing guy, you just want them to come out and give you an honest assessment and not try to sell you a whole AC unit when all you need is your drain cleaned, right? Happens all the time because AC techs are highly incentivized and commissioned. So they want to sell you more than you actually need. So you need the honest people, and that's the folks at Third Generation. So give them a call, 813-961-8024, 961-8024, or go to thirdgenerationplumbing.com. They also do AC. So if you have any emergencies, a human will answer the phone, 961-8024, thirdgenerationplumbing.com. Great folks over there. Really enjoyed chatting with Johnny Rodriguez and their group over there. So if you want to just tell somebody, hey, who do you use for AC and plumbing? Third Generation. All right, let's get to some of the great comments here we got to get into here. You put up one of your columns, correct, Tim? On
in response to Christopher Cole, who brought up the NFL Top 100, they released numbers 100 through 81. He had Levante David at 99 and Warps at 85, and I put out a little piece early this morning about the travesty of that and how ridiculous it sounds. It's actually a pretty funny column. It's not very newsworthy. It's really just funny. So I put a link to that in the comments if anybody wants to check that out.
Can you imagine redrafting the NFL right now? Redrafting the NFL and all the general managers of all the players that are available. Can you imagine? I could see Levante David getting overlooked because it's not a premium position. But still not even to 99. That's ridiculous. Mm-hmm. Do you imagine Tristan Wirfs waiting until 85th pick to be taken?
As a premier tackle. Yeah.
Seriously.
It doesn't happen.
No. I think he would go. Yeah, you're talking every player in the league. There's a lot of great impact.
Yeah,
players.
It's not just positional rankings. Right. This is everybody. So,
so if you're building a team, I mean, left tackle is obviously a premium position. Mm-hmm. So I would say, he's not lasting past 30. I don't know.
I think he's top 25.
Yeah. Yeah. He's just that. To me, he's the best offensive lineman in football. Yeah. No. And offense.
Arguably, for sure.
Last time I checked, offensive line is a pretty important position in this league.
And it's becoming more and more important. Like it's getting a lot more respect over the past, 3, 4, 5 years for sure. And him being one of the best. Yeah. I mean, it's evident with the payday he's going to get. So.
Yeah. Because obviously it's all about quarterback play, right? Affecting the quarterback, and offensive linemen are the hardest to find because nobody wants to play offensive line. Nobody. Yeah. And you know who plays offensive line? The less athletic big guys. That's just the way it goes. When you start building, nobody goes into, I want to be an offensive guard, when it's at 9 years old. Ooh, I want to play left tackle. No, even the big guys,
A lot of these guys started off as tight ends and they couldn't catch.
Yeah,
and they kept getting bigger.
Yeah, or they just weren't quick enough to be defensive linemen.
Yeah.
So you have, the superior big guys athletically are defensive players. So it's hard to find. That's why most offensive linemen are white guys. Let's be honest.
Slow white guys like us.
It's the only place we can play, right? Yeah, my first is funny. My first foray into tackle football was 130-pound football. We had weight classes, right? You had 80-pound, 100-pound, 130-pound football, which is, this is 50 years ago when kids were much, much smaller, right? So if you were, 8th and 9th grade was 130-pound football. So I got fat in my middle school years. I plumped up a little bit. Too many microwave hot dogs. And so I was like 155 in 8th grade. I was a pretty big kid, but I wanted to play football. So I had to lose 25 pounds in a summer to get down to 130, and I did it. I put a trash bag on and went out running. That's what we used to do. We put a trash bag on. Yeah, it works. It works, folks. So, but I was 130 pounds, and I was like, what position you want to play? I'm like, well, quarterback or receiver, of course. I'm an athletic guy. I got great skills. I could throw the football too. I could throw it over that mountain over there. And so they're like, offensive line. You're 150 pounds in your first practice. You're going to be an offensive
lineman.
Like, I don't want to play offensive line. Who the hell wants to play offensive line?
You want to talk about how the sizes of people have changed. My dad played center at Texas A&M in the late 40s, early 50s. He was about $140.
Yeah, my dad played center for Caltech, and he played center at about 150 pounds. Yeah.
We're number 13 playing center.
Even in high school, and I played at South Broward, which is 4A at that time, a 4A school, second highest classification. My center was like 165. Both guards were 180. I had had a tackle that played D1, the two tackles that were D1 football players, and even he was 6'7". The great Tim Flasher, who watches. So what's up, Flash? He was 6'7", like 225. He was a thin guy, but went to FSU and they plumped him up a little bit, but not a lot. So and that was it was not that long. Now you go out and watch a high school game. Like my son was 285. He was 6'4", 285, and playing tackle and defensive tackle. I mean, it's just like, are you kidding me? Humongous.
The high schoolers are as big now on the offensive line as the NFLers were like in the late 80s. Remember, I can remember something being made about Refrigerator Perry being 310 or whatever.
Oh, he was ridiculously big. 310.
And then I forgot
who was the first 300-pounder I remember.
Yeah, and then at one point in the early 90s, it might have been the Cowboys, had the first all 300-pound offensive line. It was in the 90s, right? It wasn't that long ago, it doesn't seem like. But
yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah, it's changed. But nobody wants to play offensive line. Even I was like, no, I'm a tight end. I'm going to be playing tight end by the end of the year. That was
the ball, right.
With these hands. But
offensive linemen don't get the chicks. They do now because they got the money.
And then, and then I went to high school and I'm like, I'm playing quarterback. That's what's going on here. So I'm not the biggest guy. So that's where, and Levante David at 99. And who else is going to be in that top 100 if they're Buccaneers? Mike Evans.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Will Godwin be?
Godwin will be there. Yeah,
he should be. Yeah,
he has to be.
The top 100. Yeah. This just all pretty much goes by Madden rankings anyway, doesn't it?
Right. Of course, Winfield Jr. I think will be there. Baker.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know, man. It seems, and I just in the article I pointed out, this is just a common thing for the Bucs, and as fans, we're used to it, watching them be disrespected, and they embrace the role as underdogs. Even this year with the Falcons favored to win the division, somehow I still haven't figured out how that's a thing, unless they just want everybody to bet on the Falcons, and it's a betting thing, not a what we think thing. Which is possible. That's how betting works, right? That's how they set lines, really, is who they want people to bet on, not who they think will win the
division. Kirk Cousins. That was the big splash. Yeah. So, they got a quarterback now, and they really needed a quarterback. So they're the best team in the league. Well, what about their defense? What about their pass rush? Mm-hmm. What about, they've got some issues. I'm not saying they're a bad football team. And would I be shocked if they won the division? No, I mean, I said it last year. I thought they were a quarterback away from being a really, really good football team. They got some great weapons, and Drake London, and Bijan Robinson, and Kyle Pitts, and their offensive line's gotten better. They still don't have a pass rush, in my opinion, but their defense wasn't bad last year. They couldn't get turnovers, and they couldn't, they didn't have a whole lot of pass rush. And I don't, now, and their coaching staff I thought was, Arthur Smith was terrible, but now they got a new coaching staff. And folks, go look it up. How often do new coaching staffs make the playoffs? Like
on the first year?
The first year. It's like 10% of the time. It's very, very difficult. You go look at all the new coaching staffs last year. How many of them made the playoffs? I don't think any did. Well, you can look that up. It's and most of them were, 4 or 5 win teams because they take over bad teams. This just in. Now, I don't think the Falcons are a bad team. I think Raheem's walking into a pretty decent situation as far as new coaches go. Much better than normal.
So I think they have a chance to be, to make the playoffs. Absolutely, I do. But they got to prove it. They got new offensive coordinator. So do the Bucs. But they got new offensive coordinator, new head coach.
Both from the Rams, by the way. Both coming from the same organization.
Right, exactly. So, there's a lot of new there. There's a lot of new. And new doesn't win in the NFL right away. It doesn't. It's continuity wins in the NFL. Long term, it does. So new takes a while. It takes a while to everybody get on the same page. So there are some challenges in Atlanta, no question about it. And I think where the Bucs obviously have an advantage there is the continuity. And I know they have a new offense coordinator, but they have the same quarterback, same receivers, same skill players. So that chemistry is already
and a better defense.
And a better defense. And I think personally, I think Ra is going to be a good coach. The second time around, be nothing like his first time around. The first time around was
not necessarily his fault either, but young
it was a circus.
Yeah.
It was, you had a 35-year-old coach who was younger than a lot of his players.
Right.
And Rob was always that type of coach. He was very much a player's coach.
Yeah.
So he's literally, out drinking with the players and then having to discipline them. And then he had a group of players that, no free agents whatsoever. At that particular time, the Glazers were purchasing Man United and had about a $70 million payroll when everybody was up about 130. So they weren't getting free agents, which was why Gruden left. So they were just mailing it in, and they went to find the youngest, cheapest head coach they could find, and Ra was the sacrificial lamb. He's not going to say no. And he won 10 games one year.
Yeah.
Didn't make the playoffs, but they won 10 games. It was a really easy schedule, which is why they didn't make the playoffs, because the other teams in the division were, winning more games. But, he earned, and I think it's taken way too long for him to get a second shot. So I'm interested to see how that all works out, but it's going to be tough. It's a tough challenge. It's going to be a lot of first-time mistakes that you make. And that's, and we talked a little bit about this yesterday. Todd Bowles now entering his, third year as the head coach. And I think he's improved as a head coach every year. I still think, he needs to improve a lot more from a game day performance standpoint.
On the field decisions and things like that. Yeah, for sure.
Game management, calling defenses.
Calling timeouts.
At the end of the game when you still got a chance to win it and force them to punt. Yeah.
The end of the half, maybe. Yeah.
The end of the half. Get an extra possession. Yeah. We're doing that. We're doing that now. So I think, and I think he recognizes that. Todd is not an arrogant guy. Todd is very much a super smart guy. The players clearly play for him. They respect him. You don't go to 4-7 and then come back and win the division, late in the season. Like 90% of teams are checking out. When you lose, 5 or 7 in the middle, 95% of teams are checking out. They're preserving their bodies for the next season. And that's the way, but they continue to play hard for him. And that's a great sign. And that's a
5-1 finish was impressive. I mean, they had some hiccups along that 5-1 finish, some close calls, but it was still impressive.
Yeah.
And you can't look at his record in the last two seasons, 17-17, 8-9 the first year, 9-8 last year. Look, you still won the division both seasons. I don't care what the record was. It's not your fault you play in a crappy division right now. You pulled it off. You made the postseason. You won a playoff game last year.
Yeah.
Against the Eagles. And you were within a score of pulling it out against the Lions on their turf to go to the NFC Championship game. All right. There's something to be said for that.
Yes. And that's not handed to teams, folks. That's not handed to teams. When you have the nucleus of a team that has won 3 division titles in a row, and I don't care how crappy the division is, there's something there. Don't be stupid. There's something there.
And I was a big critic of Bowles last year, if you remember me talking on these airwaves. I questioned his leadership ability and his coaching ability, and I thought, this is crazy. What's he doing?
And let's don't get it twisted. If he loses to the Panthers, that game was pretty close to being that was a touchdown, a called back touchdown from losing that game, on a call. Don't forget it, 9-0, and they had a touchdown and maybe 2 called back in that game. The Panthers did. And that would have certainly that one would have changed the whole complexion of the game. So, and if they don't win that game and Todd Bowles is fired. Don't get it twisted. So he's got a lot to prove. And we're pulling for him. We love the dude. But, being objective, he's got to be better. He's got to be better. That's all there is to it. All right, let's take another quick break. When we come back, I want to get to the Taylor Walls quotes from yesterday on his Trumpian celebration, which the way this was treated is just very, very, very telling in a lot of different ways. So we have plenty of thoughts on that. So we want to thank our
time we live in right now.
Oh, yeah. The Geddes Gordon Group, we want to thank them. Extravaganza Productions, RHS TV, and Hydrate Heroes, all our great sponsors. We appreciate them. Don't forget Extravaganza Production, Paul Thomason and that group over there. If you have a event coming up, a business event, a big party, a charity event, and you want the pros to produce it for you, it's Extravaganza Productions. You'll be shocked at the rates and what they can do for you for the money. You will be shocked. So have a free creative meeting with them. Just go to the website, extravaganzaproductions.com. Contact them. Tell them JP sent you. And see what they can do for you. Tour the warehouse. It's fun. Extravaganza Productions. Back in 3. JP here for HydrateHeroes.com, the great electrolyte hydration drink that has all the good stuff, none of the bad stuff. NFL players are using this stuff. All types of athletes are using it because it's got 5 calories. None of the bad stuff, all the good stuff. All the electrolytes are in there for you. And also amla fruit, which is a terrific additive in there. The mushroom blend helps with inflammation in your body. Definitely has helped me with my knees. My knee pain has gone away almost exclusively since I started drinking Hydrate Heroes. Folks, it makes a difference. I love it. Professional athletes love it. You will love it. The new Tropical Punch flavor is out. Go to tryhydrateheroes.com and get a free 3-pack. That's tryhydrateheroes.com, a free 3-pack, and get the 30-pack while you're there for just $29.99. Tryhydrateheroes.com. You'll love it.
Hey, Tampa Bay sports fans. This is two-time LPGA major champion Jane Geddes here. After winning the U.S. Open and 10 other LPGA events, I wanted to try something completely different. So I came right off the top turnbuckle and landed in the crazy world of WWE. And yes, you heard that right. That's WWE. Working for the Vince McMahon as the VP of Talent Relations for the company. Now, though, I want to work for you. Everything I've done in my life, I've done with incredible passion. And now I've turned my focus to leading the best real estate team in Tampa Bay, the Geddes Gordon Group with Keller Williams in South Tampa. If you're looking for a new home, an investment property, or looking to sell your current home, we will give you major championship level service. When you choose Geddes Gordon Group, you become part of our inner circle, like family. So if you're looking for a few golf tips or a golf course view, we're going to stripe it right down the fairway. Call me at 813-485-6808 or go to gettysgordongroup.com, or again, give me a ring at 813-485-6808.
Get ready to dazzle this summer with the largest jewelry collection at the Gold and Diamond Source. Feel the heat of July with the fiery brilliance of ruby. That's July's birthstone, ruby. Well, that's my birthstone. I'll take one. It's perfect for adding a touch of luxury to your summer style. Embrace the unique beauty and significance of July's gemstone for any occasion, from beach parties to evening soirees, and mark a special 15th anniversary with a stunning ruby, the traditional gem of this very important milestone. And take advantage of our exclusive offer, 5 years of interest-free financing. That means you can own a $5,000 ring or watch or anything and pay only $83 a month with zero interest. And when you shop online, you can enjoy a special summer discount of 15% off July's birthstone. Make this summer unforgettable by visiting the Golden Diamond Source and finding the perfect piece to shine in the sun. It's the Golden Diamond Source, 3800 Omerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. As we head into summer and hurricane season, you must make sure that your home is fully insured. Over 40% of people in Florida are not fully insured because property rates have gone up lately. Your home is worth more, so it needs to be insured. Call the great folks at Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799 to make sure you're fully insured. And also, you might just save some money. There are new companies coming into the state all the time. In fact, we just shopped our homeowners insurance, and I'm telling you, folks, we saved over $550 because Charity, the great customer service at Italiano Insurance, did all the work and found us a better company and a cheaper company. She'll do the same for you. 813-877-7799. Do something about these high rates. Shop them around.
Could save you lots of money. It's Italiano Insurance, been doing business here locally for over 60 years. 813-877-7799. Tell them JP sent you. Are you looking for an honest AC and plumbing company? I mean, that's like trying to find a humble Saints fan, right? Well, try my friends at Third Generation AC and Plumbing Services. Been in business since 1995 here locally. And listen to what one of their customers said. Quote, the gentleman providing the service was exceptional, on time, knowledgeable, professional, and experienced. He was efficient, cleaned up behind himself, and did the work expeditiously. He not only repaired a sink, he repaired our toilet that was constantly running. We have used this company several times. They are awesome. Says it all, folks. Testimonials really say it all. Call 813-961-8024 for honest, fast service. 813-961-8024 or thirdgenerationplumbing.com. We also do AC.
Let's go.
Right now. Back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the Rogers Park Top Tracers Golf Range. Get on out there, folks. That is a really, really cool place to hang out. $25 an hour starting at, moves up to $45 an hour, but that's only in the really, really peak time. So you get some really good time, 25 and 35 bucks. Includes balls, up to 4 guys. You can play St. Andrews, Pebble Beach, all the great courses in the virtual setting there, but it's also outdoors, so you get to watch your golf ball fly and not just hit it into the net. Really, really cool place. Go to rogerspark.net and get your reservation. Reservation's highly recommended.
I have a question for you about that.
Yes, sir.
That's that top. What is it? The Top Tracer simulator.
Yes, yes.
How do you putt?
Good question. You don't.
Okay.
You don't. So what the putting basically is a chip off. So you have like a 50-yard marker out there. So if you hit it, within like a 10-foot, maybe 5 or 6 foot circle of that, you get, depending on how close you are. So if you hit the ball two inches from the cup, right? Or 3 feet from the cup. Mm-hmm. Now, if you hit the ball within 20 yards, it's all on probability, right?
Sure.
If you drop 20 yards of the target, then it counts as a putt.
Gotcha.
So,
okay.
So, in other words,
makes sense.
If you make 80% of 3-foot putts, which we would hope we do, then you get the 80% circle. Now, if you're 60 feet away, you got to hit it within like a 2-foot circle to get the putt to count.
Gotcha.
So it's all based on putting probabilities.
All right, well, that makes sense.
That's where the kind of flaw is in terms of really playing the golf. But
nobody cares about putting at St. Andrews. Everybody cares about hitting the fairways. Yeah.
You want to see see this where you're hitting.
Yeah.
And I've played St. Andrews, played Pebble Beach, played these courses. So when I'm looking at it on the simulator, I'm like, damn, this looks exactly like when I was standing on the tee at St. Andrews, except I'm a hell of a lot more sober than I was that day. So,
I mean, comparatively speaking, right?
I don't know if I've ever told you that story. So we're playing St. Andrews, and the caddies, of course, are betting on you.
Yeah.
So they'll kind of watch you warm up and kind of get a feel for what your game is like. And so I step up on the first hole, and the Batty Burn on number 1 is about 260 yards away. And so I'm like, and I'm really not confident in my 3-wood. It's from an accuracy standpoint. So back then when I was a good player, it was about 10 years ago, I think, I would, if I wanted, and I could hit the ball, normally my drive would go about 285, 290. So he's like, no, we got to hit the 3-wood here. That's a 3-wood, not hitting the drive. Give me the driver. And I'm like, no, man, I'm going to hit a nice little baby cut. He's like, you're not that good. Hit the 3-wood. All right, hit the tree. Just listen to me. We're not going to start this from the beginning, right? Not going to argue it.
I love this.
Listen, Seamus.
I love Caddy JP.
I'm like drunk. I'm still drunk from the night. I'm like, listen, Seamus. Your breath smells like haggis. So shut the F up, and we're gonna hit the baby cut. It's like, all right, take the back. And so I get up there and I smooth it, just like one of my better swings of the day, maybe only one. And I'm like, see, I told you, it's good. He's looking at me like, wait till it stops running.
Oh no,
you stupid jackass. So I'm looking at it, and I'm looking at it, and it's running. It's running. It keeps going. And it's almost, the green is like right on the other side of the burn, like 30 yards. So it stops running.
that far from the bird. I mean, literally
Oh.
go with a foot. So he looks at me, and I go, I told you. And he just starts laughing. So we walk up to it. It is literally like a foot away from the bird. I'm like,
Wow.
I'm gonna dump this sucker right in the bird with my next shot. But I actually hit it up on the green and made par. But so that's how we started. And my good friend Dave Hammond, his caddy was an old cantankerous drunk. And he was drunk and didn't want a caddy. But if you don't show up, the caddy, then you lose your
spot, right?
Lose your spot as a caddy. But his caddy was just an a-hole from the very beginning, was yelling at him. And he got in one of these pop bunkers, and he's like, he left one in the bunker, and the caddy's like, Jesus. Like literally, like I'm standing right there, and you can hear and Dave, so Dave stands over it again, and he hits the wall again, right? And that's enough, which is easy to do when the wall's 20 feet high,
right?
And he's like, open the face and pot it, and he's yelling at him. So he hits the third one, hits the wall, because by this time it's he's like, yeah. And he guy said, Jesus, I thought you knew how to play golf, because he's losing his bet, right? On his
greatness.
And so Dave just goes, get the F out of here. You're fired. Get the F out of here. I'm carrying my own goddamn bag. So he fired his caddy.
Mid-round, huh?
On the fourth hole. But the guy was being a total jerk.
I hate that.
Total a-hole.
Tell me.
And the caddy master came out with another caddy. He's like, I'm so sorry. We've had problems with old Seamus, whatever the hell his name is.
They're all called Seamus.
They're all called Seamus. They're all drunks and they're all called Seamus, right? But that's the beauty of Scottish golf. That is the fun. That's part of the big part, because you can only understand every third word of what they're saying.
Right.
And it's usually the F word. You're F there. They call you sir or Mr. Peters. Mr. Peterson, you're F there. I'm like, is that all you ever say? He's like, is that all you ever hit? Hit it in the effing fairway, and I won't say it.
I mean, he's not wrong.
He's not wrong. He's not. So that's that's Scottish golf for you. I don't know how the hell we got on that tangent, but there you go. Oh, this is why.
Great.
John Hill says, Justin Thomas roller coaster week at the British Open. It's the only instance in the last 30 years of majors where a golfer had a 10-shot variance in his first to second and third to fourth round.
Yeah.
How about that? What's going on with your game that it's like that? And that can happen out there. You get a couple of bad bounces, and what that is, it's all here. Justin hasn't won squat in forever. He still has great ability.
Work, yeah.
He still has great ability. But, he just loses his confidence in your shot. It's such a mind game out there. And that's why, the really good players, you marvel at how they hit bad shots. And that's one of the things I loved about Xander. He kept smiling the whole time. Mm-hmm. And I forget who was calling. I think it was either Trevor Immelman or whoever. That was the other guy I was on the broadcast. He kept talking about the posture. You got to keep smiling. You got to have a great posture out there. That's links golf. It's playing on the ground, not in the air. You're going to get some bad bounces, and you got to just have a great posture about you. And that's true, especially in that area. And you're going to get the crappy lie. You're going to get a stupid bounce. And when you hit a perfect shot, look at Tom Watson. Would have won the freaking British Open at 60. But he hit on the downslope of the green instead of the flat part of the green. Difference is probably 6 inches.
Yeah.
And the ball stops right next to the cup. He makes par and wins the British Open at 60. But instead, he hits the downslope of the green, and it goes off the back of the green. He can't get it up and down. I mean, that's the difference. And you hit a perfect shot, but you got to just smile about it and move on to the next. And Justin probably just didn't do a very good job.
Yeah, and on the Friday and Thursday and Friday rounds, a lot of it has to do with the draw. When you're teeing off, and because the weather changes there. The morning round and the afternoon rounds are 100% different, right? Different courses. And if you get a bad draw on one of those days, it can ruin you.
You're screwed. Rick says, "Hey Tim, you need to hold out for diaper money. Get you at the Pens endorsement."
I might do that, Rick. I might do that. You know anybody, Rick? Send some names my way.
Yeah. John says he got rejected on his 25 Masters tournament and Augusta National Women's Amateur tournaments.
Join the club.
Earth will continue to turn. Yes, it will. Rick says, JP to coach, I'm a quarterback. Coach, hey, fatty, get your hand in the dirt and block someone. I'm going to tell you what, though. I was a damn good athletic offensive tackle. I was damn good. My technique was really good because I was an athlete. I could, put that neck right on that hip, get that shoulder underneath them, root them out. Nice seal, run right off your ass. That was fun. I really enjoyed. I enjoyed playing offensive line. We played the wishbone. So as an offensive lineman, you were very important in the game plan. And if you could, you could get a good seal, and they run, and it was really fun. And like we're running if there's a big play coming up, they're running right off your ass, and you're like, yeah, watch me turn this sumbitch, and it was fun. So I enjoyed getting that perspective too. And seeing what's life like for an offensive lineman and how important it is in terms of running a play. So it's good to be cross-trained. Nathan Ellie said, I would do that. Trash bags rocked from running in the trash bags. I run McKechnie Field and Bradenton out to Coquina Beach, swim, and then run back to McKechnie. That's a good workout right there. That's a damn good workout, Nathan Elliott. All right, I want to get to this Taylor Wall story Mark Topkin wrote in the Times. It was interesting that while the world was putting it up on Twitter on Sunday when it happened, it was kind of being ignored here in Tampa, but it was, 15 million views. They had to write about it. So they did. And as Mr. Topkin writes, shortstop Taylor Wall said he was sharing an inside joke celebration with his teammates Sunday when he thrust himself into the political world with viral internet fame. As we all know the story, he did the Trump thing. Can we just call it the Trump thing?
The Trump thing. Yeah, that's probably suitable.
And then he said, of all the unexpected amount of attention, that he would, quote, probably won't do it again.
I mean, okay.
You think there was pressure to play? Listen, if you don't know, the Rays are a very left-leaning organization. That's no secret. You're tweeting out on opening day, this is a great day to arrest what was her name? Bianca Taylor's. We've been tweeting that stuff out on, which is, it's fine. But let's just call it for what it is. They were very big in the BLM celebration. Still have that. At least last time I was there. Still have the big BLM thing on the back wall. That's where they lean. That's just fact. We're not saying it's good or bad. It's everything, but they're a very left-leaning organization. There's no question about that. And that's fine. Whatever. You own the team, whatever. It's your choices. But as I postulated when I saw this is not going to sit well with the front office. And now he probably won't do it again. Was he told not to do it again?
He was.
He didn't say that, but he said he probably won't do it again. He said, quote, it was more so the symbolism of getting knocked down, get back up, keep fighting, keep grinding, kind of just grit and determination. That's kind of more so what it was. It wasn't necessarily directed at Trump politically, Wall said. More so the inspirational side of someone who almost got their life taken away from them, and their first instinct was to stand up and show strength. Okay. Wall's a 28-year-old Georgia native who attended Florida State. Florida State.
There you go.
Is believed to be the first major leaguer to publicly show support for Trump in that fashion. The Cardinals, did a recent dugout celebration that some observers thought was related to Trump, but players said it was not. Of course it was. And why it's interesting when when it's left leaning and everything, the media celebrates it. You take no shots. You don't get any harsh treatment whatsoever. The media celebrates it. But if you do it on the right, you're targeted. And you feel like you have to walk it back because the major media machine is going to come after you. Now, if you look at the comments, overwhelmingly positive for Taylor Walls. It's very interesting. The media tells it's how horrible it was that he did it. It's terrible political, right? But the comments overwhelmingly positive. Interesting.
So, look, I get it, and yes, I do think 100% when he did it, that was his intention, right? That was it was Trump. I believe that 100%. But look, what did this mean in the '60s? The same exact gesture in the '60s. What did that mean?
Black
power, right?
Yes.
Sometimes
1968 Olympics.
Exactly.
Yes.
Sometimes you can just raise your freaking fist in the air because you did something good. It doesn't have to be political. It doesn't have to be Republican or Democrat.
When you go fight,
No, I get that. I understand that. But I'm just saying, not everybody that does that, it's like doing that, right? Like, whatever. But, man, I just think sometimes the media, the left-leaning media, just looks for stuff.
Of course they do.
To make a big deal about.
Which, here we go. He said, it was definitely not something I just thought, oh, I can't wait to do this. That definitely was not what it was.
Right.
It was more of a joke that just ran around with me and the guys in the clubhouse the 2 days before Sunday's game, which was the first, Topkin writes, in which he got a hit since the shooting. Had to put that in there. Said Walls, who is hitting 160. Had to put that in there too. By the way, Mark, I find this all really hilarious. It's all good. It was one of those things, another quote here, where in the moment I got on base there and I saw the guys just laughing, cracking up. So I knew they were anticipating me to do it. And I was like, all right, I've got to give it to them now. And that was kind of it. It was pretty much just excitement for the first of all getting on second base and the guy taking a shot at himself. And then the guys kind of rooting me on. It was just kind of instinctive. He said he was frustrated that the posted video clip taken from the game broadcast was somewhat misleading, as it showed him to be serious when he was laughing afterwards, and said some of his teammates were doing so also. That's true, by the way. Shocking development. Editing to make it look one way, then that maybe it wasn't. Right. Quote, immediately after I was smiling because it was a joke, and then they didn't see that side of it. So I feel like it's that side of it was shown. People would have kind of maybe not taken it so out of context. Fair point. Then Mark writes, though Walls has had a previous episode with political controversy, another story they wrote, he said absolutely did not anticipate the Trump gesture to become such a big deal and a national story. 15 million views, by the way. 15 million views. In March 2020, he writes, Walls posted on Twitter that he couldn't agree more with Florida Governor Ron DeSantis' strongly worded stance against allowing transgender athletes to compete in girls' and women's sports. Is that controversial? I would say 85% of people agree with that, by the way. Yeah. In the polling, that's what it says. My numbers might be off, but I believe it's highly polls in one direction. Wall said later that he didn't feel he did anything wrong in giving his opinion and didn't mean any disrespect to anybody at all. I don't know why you have to walk it back. I really don't. After seeing some of the initial reaction Sunday night, he turned off his phone, but said he enjoyed that some was supportive. It's not some, Mark. It's overwhelmingly supportive. Go look at the comments. Yep. It's not some. Some implies that it was a minority. It's overwhelmingly positive. He said, quote, I've been in this territory before. I know what comes with it, Wall said. So to be honest, it was more a lot of surprising positivity. Yes, surprising positivity rather than the last time that this happened. So it was actually good to see that people have my back. And I think I think more people are standing up for what they believe in now because they're sick and tired. Wall said he had not heard from Trump nor his representatives, but, quote, I think that would be pretty cool, to be honest. While declining to say who we would vote for in November, Wall said, you can take it how you see it. I don't think it's a secret. Team officials declined comment. Shocking development. Beyond manager Kevin Cash saying, quote, I was happy he hit a double.
He's playing both sides of the political spectrum there.
Hey, Cash knows where his
take it back to sports. Yeah, let's just keep it in sports.
Yeah. Whether players should do so during a game, much less on a televised stage of standing on second base at Yankee Stadium, became a subject of conversation. Now, of course, when it's left-leaning, it's all good. Nobody writes stories. Nobody's saying anything, right? I think it just depends player to player. Veteran Zach Eflin said, I believe we live in a world where everyone gets to express their opinion no matter who you are, and I think it's a beautiful thing about free speech. I can't control what other people do. You can make your own opinions and your own assumptions, but at the end of the day, we love the guys in here in the clubhouse, whether it be that or people dancing on the field. I feel like I've seen it all here. So I feel like everyone is accepted here. Yeah. How about that idea? Colin Poche has a similar take. Poche said, quote, I think everything has a time and place. I don't know what he did necessarily made a political statement one way or another.
Obviously, it's something Trump did. I don't know. I think it's more of a humorous thing, like someone gets shot at and has, I guess, the nerve to do what he did, stick his fist up and yell, fight. Me personally, I don't look too much into it as far as making political statement either way. I think guys have the right to express whatever views they have. And hopefully as a sport, we can be welcoming of everyone and whatever views they have as well. Wow. Imagine that. I think everyone can see it through their own lenses. Those are Pete Fairbanks said simply, sports is the great unifier. It wouldn't it, if only, right? Poche added that he hopes he does not become too big of a controversy. Hopefully people see it as light and fun and not a divisive thing. See it with some humor, and then somebody will do something stupid next week and we'll move on. Interesting. Listen, and I don't want to be a hypocrite here either. You know, I just in general, I don't want political expressions in my sports.
Right.
It's like, you know, I wish we could snap our fingers and get rid of all guns. That means everybody's guns, so the criminals don't have them as well. But that's completely unrealistic. It's completely unrealistic. Nobody, and yes, I do believe in the Second Amendment. That's why I know you can't get rid of all guns, so it's better that the good people have them as well. Right. Yes. So don't get it twisted. But I'm saying it's unrealistic to think that we can now, put the genie back in the bottle and say politics and sports aren't going to be mixed.
Right.
So if we're going to be mixed and you're going to be able to make political expressions in uniform and take a knee and everybody's going to support that, then you should be supporting everybody's expressions politically, whatever they are. But that's not the case, is it? In the media especially. It's the media, the mainstream media, that continues to be a huge part of this problem. Treat it all the same. Treat it all fairly.
And what do we have coming up on the world stage that is all national and political and patriot? The Olympics. And that's all you get during that stuff. So get prepared,
Get
JP.
ready. Buckle up.
Buckle up. We're in for a ride here.
And I can't decide whether having the flag bearer of our nation,
oh my God,
a guy that has roundly criticized his country as being irredeemably racist, even though he's made billions of dollars here. Because I want to respect the fact that, and I respect his right to say all of it, 100%. Absolutely. I don't have to agree with it, but I will defend to the death his right to say it. And as Americans, having someone who has been critical of our government being the flag bearer is both wonderful and troubling at the same time.
Right.
I'm conflicted on that. I really am. I feel kind of like, is it the time and place when you're representing your country? Would there be people better suited to be the flag bearer? I kind of like, this is the Olympics.
Literally anyone.
LeBron has had his moment in the sun, I think we can say. There's so many, completely anonymous people that have been great patriots and unbelievable representatives of the United States. And if in a moment where you're going to be representing your country, would it be better to have someone less politically charged and more deserving of that moment in the sun? My sense would be yes. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of other people I would choose. But I also kind of like the fact that we have someone that can dissent against our government and still represent our team. Now, you can, it's funny that if you're just a regular American and you dissent against your government and put up a meme about an election, that you get thrown in jail for 10 years. That's not cool. Political prosecutions aren't cool. But yet, here we are. So, without getting too political.
JP, when you fight for freedom, you also win the freedom for others to criticize your freedom.
That's right.
That's how it works.
That's right. Yeah. So you can, let's talk about it. Let's have a conversation about it. Are you good with LeBron being the flag bearer? Is it gonna, when you see that, you're gonna see, and maybe it'd be great for him to come out with a statement like that and say, you know what, I criticize my country, but it's still the greatest country in the world, and I am living proof that opportunity in America has never been, well, maybe not now, but when I was growing up, I had the opportunity to become who I am as a Black American, and that speaks volumes. So we'd love to hear that from him and say, and I've criticized my government, and here I am.
I think that speaks volume. I would love to hear him say that.
There is zero chance
No,
those words come out of his mouth.
Exactly.
F you,
No,
F you, and F you. Peace out.
That's for
the
ESPN people that screwed FSU. That's not for LeBron. That's not doing that. So, you took me out of context there.
I had to.
It's all good. Listen, and we'll leave with this feeling. Yes, we're bringing out the other side because there needs to be some balance, for God's sakes, in the media. So and now people on the left will hate me for saying all this. Mark Topkin will hate me for this, and everybody that's on that side will hate me for saying this. And I say, you guys have your platform. I have mine. You have a humongous platform. Mine gets shouted down and compromised by the left. So it is what it is.
It's America.
It's America. So we do what we can, and we try to have a voice here. We try to be courageous, but we're all Americans, and I'll defend it to the death. Your right to say whatever you want to say, but I'm not gonna take it personal, and come at you personally. I'm just talking about the way things are presented. Mark Topkin's a great person. He's a fellow American. Love him. Would defend that. Do I agree with a lot of the way he handles these things? No, I don't. But that's okay. He hates me. A lot of people over there hate me. I get it. It's all right. But, I would rather us live in unity and respect others' opinions and say, it's cool, bro. I don't agree with you, but I still love you, instead of trashing you,
I gotta put this that Rick said. Did they tell LeBron which flag to carry? Hopefully they don't bring the Chinese one.
Can we not laugh about that? Can we not laugh about that? That's fantastic. Rick, you're the best. You're the best, as we should. So, yes, much love to all of them, even the haters. Let's not wish our fellow Americans be assassinated.
No.
Really
For the
don't
love
like
of
that.
God.
Yeah. But there's a large.
What's wrong with people?
Yeah. So anyway, it's hard not to be political, folks. I would prefer all of our sports be politics free. But
and our athletes, by the way, and our movie stars and entertainment.
While they're on the field, outside of it, of course, you have every right to say whatever and whenever. But and that's just my personal opinion. I'd just rather it not. I'd rather it be kept to the outside at stupid places like this, where we have discussions about it, and we're open to all viewpoints. Don't have to agree with them, but we're open to it, and everybody can say what they say.
Yeah.
But it's just keep it respectful and keep it nice, and let's not wish people get their head blown off. Fair?
I'm in.
Fair? Yeah. Sounds right. But it's the world we live in. All right. Well, that was a fun show. Thank you, Tim.
It was. We went by fast, too. I was like, wait, is it already 11 or 12 your time?
It isn't. Yeah, we went over, and you're pissed at us. All right. Go do your
It's only when I'm not on it.
Yeah, exactly. When you're on, it's fine. Okay. There we go. That double standards is always going to be there. We all have it, right?
Right. More me.
More me. All right. That'll do it. Thank you guys for joining us. I hope you guys appreciate that we do try to be as balanced as we can here, or at least present another side. So love you guys. Thank you for watching. We'll see you again tomorrow.